and he's a really great guy named Jamarlin Martin, and I really like him. And one day I flew down to Florida just to kick it with him, and I'd been watching Bossip for many years. I mean, Bossip is literally where Kim Kardashian got her start. Like Bossip was just like beast mode in terms of blogs back in the golden age of blogs and all that. And he basically was telling me about how he hired a lot of his friends and relatives and people that he knew, and he was paying them a lot more money than they would make anywhere else. They were making, $200,000 a year, and they only had a GED or whatever, because he was really generous, and he wanted to make sure all his people were taken care of. And then they had these really. I went to their office one time. They had this really nice office suite in New York City, and this beautiful building and everything. And again, because the way my mind works, I'm walking around saying, "Ooh, this is expensive. Y'all must be balling. This is crazy. I wouldn't do this." But anyway, so what happened though was, that I believe that they were thinking, okay, it's only up from here, right? We're making 10 million, 20 million a year. It eventually will be at 50 million and 100 million and all that. And what sometimes I think can happen is that we can get so busy looking up that we forget that there's also a long way down that you forgot about. You forgot that which goes up can still come down. You forgot that what you think might be the beginning of something big might be your actual peak. It may never get any better than this. This may be the most money you ever make for the rest of your life, right? We don't think that way, right? Especially when you're ambitious and you're growing and things are going great. We tend to look upward, right? That's a bias. That's a type of bias, right? And so he said basically that what happened was, and I remember this too. I remember this. The blogs stopped making money. What used to happen was they would you would put these articles out, and if your article got read by say 20,000 people, you would make a really good amount of money. Let's say $50 per thousand people. So you could make like $1,000 for one good article. They got 20,000 reads. So if you're getting hundreds of thousands of reads, it could turn to a lot of money really fast. Well, what happened was that with the ad companies, you had the ad companies over here and the content creators over there, and they realized, wait a minute, we got an oversupply of content creators, and we don't, but not that many opportunities. So what happened was the middleman, the people that connected the advertisers with the bloggers, started increasing their cut. They basically started chopping away at what the bloggers received. So that same article that would have gotten you 30 or $40 per thousand reads is suddenly getting you like 25 cents. So literally the whole business model just collapsed. And a lot of people weren't ready for that. And I know that with Bossip, I know they caused them to have some challenges. And so when it came time to kind of cut back on a lot of that spending, that there was a lot of pushback, right? There's, and what was really interesting is I remember him telling me, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but he said that the people that he helped the most were the ones that were the maddest at him when he had to cut their pay. It wasn't like he fired them. He'd say, "Hey, I need, instead of me paying you 200,000, I can only pay you 140." And he would get cussed out and you all kinds of MFers and this Negro this and blah blah blah, and it really was almost like traumatizing, and I get it. I totally get it. So ultimately, in general, when you're talking about doing business, I encourage you, when you pursue your business, and some of y'all are business owners in here. How many of y'all have a business? Give me a yes if you have a business. Shout the name of your business. Put it in the chat. Let everybody know what you're doing. Um, I encourage you to do a couple things. One, I think the two C's, the 2C rule. This is the Dr. Boy's 2C rule. Creative and conservative. I think creative and conservative goes a long way for one simple reason. You ain't white. You ain't white. It sucks. I know it makes you sad. Some of y'all are shocked by this, but you're not white. So creative means that black business models have to get in where they fit in. You got to really figure out, not based on what somebody told you in a book or what you saw on a TV show. You got to go based on what your environment will allow you to do. And then number two, conservatism means that even when times are good, you're always prepared for when times are going to be bad. And this is what I call investor vision. This is how investors think. Good investors are always thinking a step ahead. Okay, times are really good now. We're rolling in the money. How do we get ready for when times get bad? Because they're going to get bad. Or also, the investor vision says when times are bad, and everything seems terrible, it's like, oh no, you know what? This too shall pass. So let's get ready for when times are good. Let's go acquire these stocks. Let's go acquire this land while times are bad, because eventually the sun's going to come out and the asset values are going to go up. And that's when we're going to make our money. We just got to hold our nose and hold out through the storm. You understand? So this is what came to mind when it came to the griot. I think that, again, I don't know what's going on with Byron's company. I don't pretend to know. I'm assuming that he's doing quite well. I hope he's doing well. But I'm also assuming that as the CEO, like any other CEO of a big empire like the one he has, he's probably got a big ton of problems to solve. And I think he's fully prepared to solve them. So I wish him and the Griot good luck. And I want to make that clear because I don't want it to sound like I'm saying that I think that they're garbage or that they're falling apart. That's not what I believe. I do think it is an interesting business lesson, though, to see them sort of finagle their way through these challenges. Okay. All right. So anyway, guys, before we head out, just a quick reminder, don't forget that if you want to get notified when we meet for morning financial consciousness training, we do this every single day, 7 days a week at 10 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you're on the text list. You can do that by texting the word morning, MORNING, to 87948. Text morning to 87948. And also, if you'd like to get a copy of my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, you can go to drboycebooks.com. And also at drboycebooks.com, my wife, who is a therapist and relationship, she's a relationship therapist and a full professor of social work. She actually has a whole section of on love and money, like financial anxiety workbooks and things like that, that can kind of help you to get your money mindset where you want it to be. We don't just believe in giving yourself rah-rah speeches. We believe that working with therapists and actually healing from trauma is critically important. When we created the Black Financial Therapy Department in the Black Business School, we concluded that undiagnosed, untreated trauma is the number one variable that is blocking our ability to manifest, build wealth, take risks, work together, all the things that you need to do to build a healthy Black economy. It is being blocked by the trauma. When you're full of trauma, trauma kills you, trauma kills your relationships, trauma kills your wealth, affects your decision making, trauma causes self medication in all kinds of unhealthy ways. And so I encourage you, you got to heal, you got to heal, you got to heal. The more healed you are, the more you can show up as an appropriate teammate for other people. The more healed you are, the more you can make better long-term decisions. The more healed you are, the more you can have the discipline that is required for you to become the person that you know and I know that you are capable of becoming. But to get there, you really got to do the work. So anyway, my wife's website, by the way, is coachingwithdralicia.com. If you want to see what she does, she sees clients and groups and stuff like that. It's coachingwithdralicia.com. Also, if you go to drboycebooks.com, a lot of my wife's workbooks are there. Maybe you can work through it with your family. She actually has a certification in trauma, and that's why I talk about trauma a lot, because when she educated me on it, I learned that I have a lot of trauma. I took the trauma test. It's called the ACEs test, Adverse Childhood Experiences. I brought that out to you guys before. And I was way up on that scale. Almost every question they asked, has this happened to you? Has that happened to you? I said, oh my God, I didn't know how traumatized I was. And what that does is it just affects your ability to make the decisions that you want to make. So I got a therapist and I started working on healing. And I'm still not perfect. It doesn't feel right all the time. You know, the trauma never really goes away completely, but it does improve you as a human being. So I encourage you, improve who you are, and then you're going to attract people who are improved who and they are. But Ayana Van Zant, she refers to that as vibrational attraction. She says whatever frequency you're vibrating on, you're going to attract people that are on that same frequency. So if you're on that negative, whining, complaining, getting mad, going off, and being negative, if you're on that negative frequency, you're going to attract people that are on the same frequency. But if you show up positive, uplifting, motivational, focused, driven, aiming for success in a loving way, then you're going to attract other people that are on the same frequency, and you're going to trust each other and build great things. So go out and build. God bless you. I'll see you guys soon. I hope you guys have a great day. And also, don't forget the All Black National Convention is October 25th through the 27th. And so I hope you guys will join us in Chicago. If you'd like to learn more about the convention, there are lots of great people there. Just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's All Black National